Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lingo Bloom. This is the place where learning English is fun, easy, and natural. Today, we have 5 short stories that will help you improve your listening skills, expand your vocabulary, and understand English better. Each story is designed for A1 to A2 learners, featuring real-life conversations and simple, engaging dialogues. You'll hear stories about friendship, adventures, and everyday moments that make learning English enjoyable. Are you ready? Sit back, relax, and let's dive into our 5 short stories. The Lost Cat. Once upon a time, in a small village, there was a young boy named Tim. Tim loved his cat Whiskers. Whiskers was a small orange cat with a soft, fluffy tail. Every morning, Tim would wake up to find Whiskers sitting at the foot of his bed, waiting for him to get up. One day, Tim woke up and looked around, but Whiskers was not there. He called out, "Whiskers! Where are you?" But there was no answer. Tim quickly got out of bed, feeling worried. He searched under the bed, behind the door, and even inside the closet. But Whiskers was nowhere to be found. Tim ran to his parents' room. "Mom, Dad, Whiskers is missing," he said, feeling nervous. His mom smiled gently and said, "Don't worry, Tim. Whiskers might be outside. Why don't you go and ask your friends in the village if they've seen him?" Tim nodded and decided to go outside. He walked down the road looking carefully on both sides. The sun was shining and the birds were singing, but there was no sign of Whiskers. First, Tim went to see his friend Sarah. Sarah was sitting by the front door reading a book. "Hi, Sarah," Tim said. "Have you seen my cat Whiskers?" Sarah looked up and thought for a moment. "I haven't seen him today," she said. "But you could try asking Mr. Lee at the corner. He was outside this morning. Maybe he saw something." Tim thanked Sarah and walked to the corner of the village where Mr. Lee's house stood. He knocked on the door. "Good morning, Mr. Lee," Tim said politely. "Have you seen my cat, Whiskers?" Mr. Lee smiled kindly. "Ah, I saw a little orange cat this morning. It was near the bakery, going towards the park." Tim's eyes brightened. "Thank you, Mr. Lee," he said and ran towards the bakery. At the bakery, Tim asked the baker, Mrs. Clark, "Excuse me, Mrs. Clark, have you seen a little orange cat today?" Mrs. Clark looked up and nodded. "Yes, I saw him run past here towards the park. He seemed like he was looking for something." Tim was excited now. He ran to the park as fast as he could. When he arrived, he asked a few people sitting on the benches if they had seen a little cat. They all said no, but one lady pointed towards a large tree in the middle of the park. "Maybe he's under that tree," she said. Tim hurried over to the tree. He looked around and there, sitting quietly under the tree, was Whiskers. "Whiskers!" Tim called out, running to his cat. Whiskers looked up, meowed softly, and walked over to Tim. Tim picked him up gently and hugged him tightly. "I'm so glad I found you," Tim said with a big smile. "Let's go home." As Tim walked back home, holding Whiskers in his arms, he felt happy. He had asked his friends, his neighbors, and everyone he could, and finally, he had found his cat. Tim learned an important lesson that day. Sometimes, when you don't know the way, you just have to ask for help. And with a little patience and kindness, you can always find what you're looking for. A picnic in the park. It was a beautiful Saturday morning, and 4 friends, Emma, Jack, Lily, and Tom, were excited about their picnic in the park. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and the weather was just perfect for a day outdoors. They had been planning this picnic for weeks, and today was the day. They met early in the morning at Jack's house, where they had packed a basket full of delicious food. There were sandwiches with cheese and ham, fresh fruit like apples and bananas, a big bottle of lemonade, and even some cookies for dessert. Emma also brought her favorite blanket, which she spread out on the grass as they arrived at the park. "This is going to be so much fun," Lily said, smiling as she set down the basket. The friends sat down on the blanket, unpacked their food, and started eating. They laughed and talked about their school days and funny memories. It was the perfect moment, and everyone was enjoying the beautiful day. But just as they were finishing their sandwiches, something unexpected happened. A loud woof echoed through the park, and before they knew it, a big fluffy dog ran over to them. It was wagging its tail and sniffing around the food. "Oh, looks like we have a visitor," Tom said, laughing. "I think he wants some of our lunch." The dog jumped up on the blanket, and Lily quickly grabbed the basket, pulling it out of the way. The dog, not caring about the food anymore, started chasing after a ball that some kids were playing with nearby. Everyone couldn't stop laughing at how playful the dog was. "That was close," Jack said, wiping his hands on his pants. "I thought he was going to eat all the cookies." Just as they were starting to relax again, dark clouds began to cover the sky. A gentle breeze turned into a stronger wind, and soon the first few drops of rain started falling. "Oh no, it's going to rain," Emma said, looking up at the sky. "We need to pack up fast." But before they could gather everything, the rain began to pour down. The friends quickly grabbed their things and ran for shelter under a nearby tree. They laughed and tried to stay dry, but they were already wet. "Well, this turned into an adventure," Lily said, laughing as the rain came down harder. "But we're still having fun, right?" "Yes," they all agreed. They sat together under the tree, still talking and laughing, even though they were a little wet. The sound of the rain on the leaves above them made everything feel peaceful. It wasn't the perfect picnic they had imagined, but it was a picnic they would never forget. After the rain stopped, they returned to their blanket and finished their lemonade and cookies, even though the ground was wet. The sun came out again, and everything felt fresh and clean. They talked some more, taking silly pictures together, and enjoyed the rest of the day. As they packed up to go home, Jack smiled and said, "It wasn't the picnic we planned, but it was still perfect because we were together." The Magic Tree. Once upon a time, in a quiet little village, there was a curious boy named Ben. Ben loved to explore the forest near his home. Every afternoon after school, he would run into the woods to see what new adventures he could find. One day, as Ben wandered deeper into the forest, he came across something he had never seen before: a tall, old tree with glowing golden leaves. The tree stood alone in a small clearing, and it seemed to shimmer in the sunlight, as if it were magical. Ben walked closer, his eyes wide with wonder. "What is this tree?" he whispered to himself. He had never seen anything like it. He reached out to touch the bark, and suddenly the tree began to speak. "Hello, young one," the tree's deep voice said softly. "I am the Magic Tree. I can help you with anything you need, but only if you ask the right question." Ben was shocked. "A talking tree? That's amazing," he said, stepping back in surprise. "How do I ask the right question?" The tree chuckled. "You must speak from your heart. Tell me what you are looking for, and I will give you the answer." Ben thought for a moment. He had been feeling confused lately. He had many questions about life, but the most important one was how he could help his family, who had been going through tough times. His father had lost his job, and they didn't have enough money for food and bills. I don't know what to do," Ben said, looking down at the ground. "How can I help my family? Things feel so hard right now." The tree listened carefully and then spoke again, its voice gentle and calm. "Sometimes the answers we seek are already within us, but we must first learn to listen. Be kind, be patient, and trust the people you love. They will help you when you need it the most." Ben felt a warm feeling in his chest, and for the first time in a while, he felt a little lighter. The tree's words made him think about how important it was to work together as a family. He realized that even though things were difficult, his love for his family could help them get through tough times. "Thank you, Magic Tree," Ben said with a smile. "I understand now." The tree nodded, its golden leaves shining brightly in the sunlight. "Remember, young one, the best answers come from the heart." As Ben walked back home that afternoon, he thought about what the tree had said. He knew things wouldn't be easy, but he felt ready to face the challenges ahead. With love and patience, he could help his family in ways he hadn't thought of before. From that day on, Ben visited the magic tree whenever he needed guidance, and every time, the tree's words filled him with hope and wisdom. The forest became a place where he could find peace, knowing that even in the darkest times, there was always light to be found. The big birthday party. It was a bright and sunny Saturday morning, and Mia was feeling excited. Today was a very special day, her 10th birthday. She had been planning for weeks, and now the big day had finally arrived. She invited all of her friends, decorated her house with colorful balloons, and set up a big table filled with snacks and drinks. It was going to be the best birthday party ever. Mia's mom had made her favorite cake, chocolate with colorful frosting and sprinkles, and Mia couldn't wait to see it. She had planned everything down to the smallest detail: games, music, and even a fun treasure hunt for her friends. She was sure it would be a day to remember, but as Mia was getting ready, she realized something. "Where's the cake?" she asked, looking around the kitchen. She checked the counter, the fridge, and even the oven. The cake was nowhere to be found. "Mom, where is the cake?" Mia called out, feeling a little panic rise in her chest. Her mom walked into the kitchen looking surprised. "Oh no, I thought I put it on the kitchen table. Let's look for it together." They searched the house, but the cake was gone. Mia's heart sank. "What if it's ruined? What if we can't have the party?" she thought. But Mia didn't give up. "Don't worry, Mom, I'll go to the bakery. Maybe they can make another cake quickly," she said. So, Mia and her mom rushed to the bakery down the street. When they arrived, Mia saw that the bakery was busy, but the baker smiled and said, "Don't worry, Mia. I can make a new cake for you right away. It will be ready in 30 minutes. Mia smiled. "Thank you," she said happily. She and her mom waited patiently, and soon they had a beautiful new cake. But just as they were walking back home, Mia realized something else was missing. "Where are the birthday presents? I forgot to put them in the living room." Mia rushed back inside the house, but when she went to look for the presents, she couldn't find them either. "This is a disaster," she thought. She checked under the couch, behind the curtains, and in every room. The presents were gone. "Mom, the presents are missing too," Mia said, feeling even more worried. Her mom thought for a moment and then smiled. "I think I know what happened. I put the presents in the garage to keep them hidden so no one would see them." Mia's eyes widened. "Oh, of course. I'll go get them." She quickly ran to the garage, and there they were, hidden behind the boxes. Mia took the presents inside, feeling much better. Finally, everything was ready. The cake was on the table, the presents were in the living room, and the party decorations looked perfect. Mia's friends started to arrive, and they were all so excited to celebrate with her. Despite all the little problems, the party turned out to be amazing. They played games, danced to music, and ate cake together. Mia smiled as she looked around at all of her friends, feeling so happy. In the end, Mia learned an important lesson. Even when things don't go as planned, you can still make the best of it and have a great time. Sometimes, all you need is a little help from your family and a lot of love and laughter. The Friendly Robot. Once upon a time, in a small, quiet town, there was a boy named Max. Max loved to play outside, but sometimes he found that there were just too many chores to do at home. He had to clean his room, wash the dishes, and help his mom with the laundry. Max didn't mind helping, but sometimes he wished there was an easier way to do all these tasks. One sunny afternoon, while Max was playing in the garden, he heard a strange sound coming from behind the house. It sounded like a robot. Curious, Max ran to see what was going on. When he turned the corner, he saw something amazing. A shiny robot standing there in the garden. The robot was not very big, but it had a shiny metal body, 2 round eyes that blinked, and 2 arms that moved up and down. It had a big, friendly smile on its face, and Max was both surprised and excited. "Hello," the robot said in a clear, cheerful voice. "I am Robo, the friendly robot. I am here to help you with your chores. How can I help you today?" Max couldn't believe his ears. A robot that could help with chores? This was amazing. "Wow, you can really help me with my chores?" Max asked, his eyes wide with excitement. "Yes, I can clean your room, wash the dishes, fold the clothes, and even make your bed," Robo replied, smiling. "What would you like me to do first?" Max thought for a moment. There was so much to do. "Can you please clean my room?" he asked. His room was always messy with toys and clothes everywhere. "Of course," Robo said. "I'll clean your room in no time." The robot walked into Max's room and started picking up the toys, putting the books on the shelf, and folding the clothes. Max watched in awe as Robo worked so quickly and perfectly. It was like magic. After Robo finished cleaning the room, Max asked, "Can you also wash the dishes in the kitchen?" "Sure," Robo said. It moved into the kitchen and began washing the dishes. It carefully scrubbed the plates, rinsed them with water, and put them on the drying rack. Max couldn't believe how fast the robot worked. "This is amazing," Max said, grinning from ear to ear. "What else can you do, Robo?" "I can vacuum the floor, water the plants, and even make you a snack if you're hungry," Robo answered, its eyes twinkling. "Is there anything else you would like me to do?" Max thought for a second. "Can you help me make my bed?" "I always have trouble with that." "I can do that too," Robo said happily. It moved over to the bed and quickly made it neat and tidy. Max couldn't stop smiling. The robot was doing everything he didn't want to do, and it was doing it so well. After a while, Max realized that the robot had done all the chores for him. His room was clean, the dishes were washed, the plants were watered, and his bed was perfectly made. "Thank you, Robo," Max said. "You've been such a big help today. I don't think I could have done all this so quickly by myself." Robo smiled and said, "You're welcome, Max. I'm happy to help. Remember, if you need help again, just ask." Max was so grateful. He had never had such an easy day at home. He was able to spend more time playing outside and doing the things he loved. From that day on, whenever Max had chores to do, he knew he could count on Robo, the friendly robot, to help him. And that's the end of our story. I hope you enjoyed listening and learned some new words along the way. Keep practicing your English every day, and don't forget to come back for more fun stories. See you next time. Bye for now.